If we're going to talk about tarot cards in this video, and we are, I should lay my proverbial cards down straight away and admit exactly what I believe and don't believe about tarot. First of all, I don't believe they were created by the Egyptians. I don't believe there is evidence that the cards predate the 14th century. I don't believe the trumps were intended to tell the history of mankind. I don't believe the trumps were intended to correspond with the Jewish alphabet. I also don't believe the cards were intended to correspond with the signs of astrology. And I don't believe the cards were intended to correspond with the Kabbalah either. Lastly, and it's a biggie, I don't believe tarot cards can tell the future. I can imagine you asking, well, if tarot cards can't tell the future, what's the goddamn point? And it's a good question. But before I answer, let me first state what I do believe about tarot cards. Namely, I believe they were intended to read fortunes right from the beginning. I believe that tarot cards may be at least 200 years older than is generally believed. I believe that the four elements were connected with the tarot from the beginning. And I believe the cards can be used to assist in reading the mind of the reader. Was that last one confusing? Basically, I believe that tarot is most useful as a manner of exploring the subconscious mind of the subject. I also believe it is most easy for the reader to perform readings on themselves, since they know better than anyone else what their personal symbols are. Symbols have a universal and a personal meaning for everybody. I think we can all agree with what the words Coca-Cola means. However, if a person were to be, say, beaten every day as a child by a full can of Coke by their father, then I think we can agree that that person would probably have a different idea of what a Coca-Cola was than most. So, symbols have a universal and a personal meaning for everyone. Based on my belief of the central strength of the tarot, I don't really believe that a person can truly read the cards of another. Instead, I believe that a good tarot reader should act as an interpreter. He or she should act as though tarot were a separate language and explain the meaning of the cards to the subject, so that, in a sense, they can read the cards for themselves. This way, the subject can tap into their own personal symbology and find out what the cards mean for them. The actual cards being laid out in the spread are almost meaningless. Let me repeat that for emphasis. The actual cards being laid out in the spread are next to meaningless. I certainly do not believe that they are selected by the universe. In fact, I don't believe they have any special meaning for the subject at all. They are simply white noise for the subject to use to see how their own mind finds patterns in madness. Reading palms works the same. I Ching works the same. Reading dominoes and flipping a coin works the same. It's all white noise for the mind. Tarot just simply has a richer symbology to work with. Chew on that.